So you just did a past life regression, and in that past life regression there was, tell me about it again, there was this feeling of having no voice.
Having no voice, being very unfulfilled, I guess almost being invisible, being numb, almost like being put in a box.
Right.
You know, you didn't have the opportunity to push back. It was like everything was...
So you were told what to do, you were told where to go and what to do, and you refused to marry, is that right?
Yeah, that was kind of a thing that if that wasn't going to be the option,
then you had to be a nun.
Right. Yeah.
So that feeling of helplessness as well, that you were told what to do and where to go.
Right.
And it was by males, was it?
Kind of a mix, the community, but definitely there were probably more males standing around the kitchen.
So when you tune into that now, how does that feel for you? Like tuning into that feeling of having to do what you were told, not having a voice, and trapped.
It still doesn't feel good.
Yeah, because before you were saying over there you felt nauseous.
Yeah, I felt physically sick.
Yeah. So when you're tuning into that now, imagining that feeling of not being able to have a voice, of being told what to do, having to go where you were told to go and become a nun, that not good feeling in your body,
right?
Can you tune into it anywhere in your body?
I guess in my heart, my stomach, you know, my whole kind of midsection.
Yep. So even though I've got this feeling of not being able to speak up,
even though I have this feeling of not being able to speak up,
not being heard,
being
told what to do,
what to do,
feeling trapped,
and
I can feel it in my heart, my stomach, and the midsection.
I can feel it in my heart, my stomach, and my midsection.
I accept myself in the way I'm feeling.
I accept myself in the way I'm feeling.
That feeling in my heart, my stomach.
That feeling in my heart, my stomach.
It's not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling.
It made me feel nauseous before.
It made me feel nauseous before.
That feeling of not being able to speak up.
That feeling of not being able to speak up.
Feeling trapped.
Feeling trapped.
Having to be told what to do.
Having to be told what to do.
Having no choice.
Having no choice.
No wonder I want to prove myself.
No wonder I want to prove myself.
And I'm trying to stand up for myself in a man's world.
And I'm trying to stand up for myself in a man's world.
But still struggling.
In
this lifetime. I've got a point to prove.
I have a point to prove.
And I want to remove this blockage.
And I want to remove this blockage.
From this past life and every past life.
From this past life and every past life.
Including this life.
Including this life.
Where I've struggled to have a voice.
Where I have struggled to have a voice.
Where I haven't been heard.
Where I haven't been heard.
Particularly by males.
Particularly by males.
That feeling of being told what to do.
That feeling of being told what to do.
I instruct the multidimensional layers of my DNA.
I instruct the multidimensional levels of my DNA.
To process and release this.
To process and release this.
It's time to let it go.
It's time to let it go.
I intend to step through this.
I intend to step through this.
Even when I remember that lifetime.
Even when I remember that lifetime.
Being sent.
To
be a nun.
To be a nun.
Being told who I had to marry.
Being told who I had to marry.
Refusing to do that.
Refusing to do that.
And being sent to live as a nun.
And being sent to live as a nun.
That feeling like I had no voice.
That feeling that I had no voice.
That I wasn't heard.
That I wasn't heard.
That I still feel in this life.
That I still feel in this life.
I instruct my multidimensional layers.
I instruct my multidimensional layers.
My DNA.
My DNA.
My Akash.
My Akash.
To process and release this now.
To process and release this now.
All the way back to its origin.
All the way back to its origin.
In that lifetime and every lifetime.
In that lifetime and every lifetime.
Including this lifetime.
Including this lifetime.
All the way out to the future.
All the way out to the future.
It's time I'm heard.
It's time I'm heard.
It's safe for me to be heard.
It's safe for me to be heard.
I am heard.
I am heard.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
And even males will hear it.
And even males will hear it.
as I release that blockage,
as I release that blockage,
that trapped feeling, out of my heart, my stomach,
out of my heart and my stomach, and
my midsection, releasing it all.
releasing it all.
Sending that part of my body empowerment,
Sending that part of my body empowerment,
and asking my guides and higher self
and asking my guides and higher self
to show me in my next regression
to show me in my next regression
where I have been heard,
where I have been heard,
and the lifetimes where I have been heard,
and the lifetimes where I have been heard,
where I have had a voice.
where I have had a voice.
And as I release this blockage,
And as I release this blockage,
I allow connection to those lifetimes,
I allow connection to those lifetimes,
and I'm able to bring it forth into this one.
and I'm able to bring it forth into this one.
All those times I had a voice,
All those times that I had a voice,
I had power,
I had power,
I was heard.
I was heard.
I choose to tap into those lifetimes,
I choose to tap into those lifetimes,
experience those lifetimes.
experience those lifetimes.
As I release the powerlessness,
As I release the
the
powerlessness,
feeling in my heart, my stomach, and my
the
midsection
feeling in my heart, my stomach, and my midsection
that I had in that lifetime,
that I had in that lifetime,
I choose to step through it now,
I choose to step through it now.
releasing the past,
Releasing the past,
all the way into the present,
all the way into the present,
all the way into this lifetime,
all the way into this lifetime,
all the times in this lifetime
all the times in this lifetime,
where I felt that in my heart and my stomach,
where I felt that in my heart and in my stomach,
and in my
and in
midsection,
my midsection,
where I hadn't been heard,
where I hadn't been heard,
especially by males,
especially by males,
releasing it and letting it go.
releasing it and letting it go.
Everything I saw,
Everything I saw,
everything I heard,
everything I heard,
everything I felt in my body,
everything I felt in my body,
when I had something to say
when I had something to say,
and felt I couldn't say it,
and felt that I couldn't say it,
or felt I wasn't heard.
or felt I wasn't heard.
I can prove myself in a man's world
I can prove myself in a man's world.
when I release the blockages.
When I release the blockages,
I am releasing the
I
blockages.
am releasing the blockages.
I am heard.
I am heard.
Feeling heard in this lifetime.
Feeling heard in this lifetime.
Good. So take a deep breath. How does it feel in your heart, stomach, midsection, particularly when you think of that past life experience?
Lighter. Lighter.
Mm-hmm. And what about this lifetime?
I don't know. We have to see.
What's a memory that you had where you felt unheard by, by a male at work?
Just I guess there's one person in particular, and he just dismisses me, and he doesn't share information. So his information is his power, and he's cut me off from that.
Okay, so give me a specific incident when he did that.
Last Monday when I got back from my trip, and I've taken a lot of time off with the death of my my parents over the last 4 months. So I'm trying to get re-engaged. I'm trying to get beyond the grief. I know I need to work, and so I called to check in with him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, nothing's going on. Like, there's a lot going on, but he should be my go-to person." And just it just I guess demoralizes me. I just then don't want to work. I just lose all my energy for it. And it's almost like I'm giving him the power, and he knows it.
Okay, so even though I went back to work on Monday,
I went back to work on Monday,
and when I asked him what's going on,
he
said nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on.
And I felt demoralized.
And I felt demoralized.
I accept myself and all my reactions to his words.
I accept myself and all my reactions to his words.
I've had this pattern from the past.
I've had this pattern from the past.
Where I felt not heard.
Where I felt not heard.
No wonder I had this reaction.
No wonder I had this reaction.
That he was just dismissing me and demoralizing me.
That he was dismissing me and demoralizing me.
That feeling and my reaction in my body.
That feeling and my reaction in my body.
Feeling like he was holding back.
Feeling that he was holding back.
He should be my go-to person.
He should be my go-to person.
And he said nothing's happening.
He said nothing's happening.
And I felt cut off.
And I felt cut off.
And demoralised.
And demoralised.
I accept my reaction to his words.
I accept my reaction to his words.
And I'm open to releasing them and letting them go.
And I'm open to releasing them and letting them go.
And finding out why I had that reaction.
And finding out why I had that reaction.
Releasing that reaction all the way back.
Releasing that reaction all the way back.
To the origin.
To the origin.
In that past life.
In that past life.
And every past life.
In every past life.
All the way back to all the times I felt it in this life.
All the way back to all the times I felt it in this life.
All those males.
All those males.
Who just dismiss me.
Who just dismiss me.
And I feel demoralised.
And I feel demoralised.
Like my brothers.
Like my brothers.
Like men at work.
Like men at work.
Feeling demoralised.
Feeling demoralised.
I wonder if I can let that go.
I wonder if I can let that go.
And see it from another point of view.
And see it from another point of view.
Releasing that demoralised feeling.
Releasing that demoralised feeling.
All the way back to its origin.
All the way back to its origin.
All the way back to last Monday.
All the way back to last Monday.
When my go-to person said nothing's happening.
When my go-to person said nothing's happening.
Maybe he was not wanting to worry me.
Maybe he was not wanting to worry me.
Maybe he was understanding what I'd been through.
Maybe he was understanding what I'd been through.
Maybe he was being gentle with me.
Maybe he was being gentle with me.
But it felt like he was demoralising me.
But it felt like he was demoralising.
This pattern that I feel that I'm being demoralised.
This pattern that I feel I'm being demoralised.
I want to release it and let it go.
I want to release it and let it go.
I want to be able to feel connected and loved.
I want to be able to feel connected and loved.
That I have a voice.
That I have a voice.
That I am heard.
That I am heard.
Releasing that demoralised feeling.
Releasing that demoralised feeling.
From last Monday.
From last Monday.
When he said nothing's happening.
When he said nothing's happening.
Nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on.
Releasing my reaction to it.
Releasing my reaction to it.
I am heard.
I am heard.
I do have a voice.
I do have a voice.
I choose to be heard.
I choose to be heard.
I choose to have a voice.
I choose to have a voice.
Okay, so take a deep breath. So how do you feel now when you tune into last Monday? He knows you've had all this grief with your family, that you've just been away. You've come back and said, what's going on? And he said, oh no, nothing's going on. How does that feel for you now?
Well, I mean, that was his MO even before I went through all this. For the past 2 years that we've worked together. So it's
the way he is, huh?
It's the way he is, but I can't let it put me into a state of paralysis, right? There are other people, I can go to my clients and get the information, but I guess I don't want to feel that I don't know what's going on. And that's exactly what happened when I visited a customer that I asked specifically Tom about. He said nothing's going on, and the customer's like, what about this, what about this, what about this? And I have to look like the dumb girl that's out of touch.
So even though
when
I went to that customer
and
I felt like the dumb girl that was out of touch,
I felt like the dumb girl that was out of touch.
Perhaps I can have more of a voice.
Perhaps I can have more of a voice.
When this guy says nothing's going on.
When this guy says nothing's going on.
I can have more of a voice and not let it bother me.
I can have more of a voice and not let it bother me.
And ask for specifics.
And ask for specifics.
About each customer.
About each customer.
His way is just saying nothing's going on.
His way of just saying nothing's going on.
Doesn't suit my magnificence.
Does not suit my magnificence.
And I do have a voice.
And I do have a voice.
And I'm going to use it.
And I'm going to use it.
To ask for more specifics.
To ask for more specifics.
Because this guy just doesn't know how to be specific.
Because this guy just doesn't know how to be specific.
And I'm going to be heard.
And I'm going to be heard.
He's always done this.
He's always done this.
And I don't want to feel like the dumb girl who knows nothing.
I don't want to feel like the dumb girl that knows nothing.
I want to release that all the way back to its origin.
I want to release that all the way back to its origin.
That dumb girl that knows nothing feeling.
The dumb girl that knows nothing feeling.
That I haven't been heard feeling.
That I haven't been heard feeling.
That I'm not acknowledged
And
feeling.
I'm not acknowledged feeling.
I'm going to be seen.
I'm going to be seen.
I'm going to be heard.
I'm going to be heard.
It's safe to be seen and heard.
It is safe to be seen and heard.
It's safe to be acknowledged.
It's safe to be acknowledged.
And it starts with acknowledging myself.
And it starts with acknowledging myself.
As I acknowledge that it's safe to be heard.
As I acknowledge to myself that it's safe to be heard.
For me to speak up for myself.
For me to speak up for myself.
And ask for more specific details.
And ask for more specific details.
And not let him just answer nothing.
And not let him just answer nothing.
Releasing my feeling of being that dumb little girl.
Releasing my feeling of being that dumb little girl.
All the way back to when I was a little girl.
All the way back to being a young girl.
All the way back to all the lifetimes I felt.
All the way back to all the lifetimes I felt.
Like I was the dumb little girl.
Like I was the dumb little girl.
The person who knew nothing.
The person who knew nothing.
Releasing it and letting it go.
Releasing it and letting it go.
Through all of my lifetimes.
Through all my lifetimes.
Asking the multidimensional layers of my DNA.
Asking the multidimensional layers of my DNA.
To clear that all the way back through my Akash.
To clear that all the way back to my Akash.
Through every lifetime.
Through every lifetime.
Including this one.
Including this one.
And all the way out to the future.
And all the way out to the future.
I stand up for myself.
I stand up for myself.
I have myself be acknowledged.
I have myself be acknowledged.
I ask for more details.
I ask for more details.
I'm heard.
I'm heard.
It's safe to be heard.
It's safe to be heard.
It's safe to be noticed and acknowledged.
It's safe to be noticed and acknowledged.
And I choose to be noticed and
And I
acknowledged.
choose to be noticed and acknowledged.
Especially by males.
Especially by males.
Deep breath. And how does that feel when you imagine going back to work on Monday? And speaking to this guy again.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to not let him get in my way, not let him take my power away, and just get on with it and find out the information other ways,
Mm-hmm.
instead of giving him. It's like you're giving someone permission to destroy you or something,
Yeah.
because I know he'd like to have my job eliminated.
Right.
So,
So he's not going to be helpful anyhow.
no,
So
no, he
it's
would
like,
love to
well,
see
why,
my job be
why,
eliminated.
why should I keep going through that?
Right,
Let's just go around it.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to just do that and get on with it. Stop trying,
Yeah.
you know, what's the saying, trying to get something, the same result from something over and over again is
Mm-hmm. And because you've had that shift in the belief system now, you're not going to just keep going back and getting the same
right.
nothing feedback, no acknowledgement. You're going to find different ways because you have a different belief now.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is also about approval,
Yes.
about and wanting to overcome that. Like, I don't need to get approval. But you hit on it with acknowledgement. I mean, that's a big one. I mean, you know, the trip to Ireland, I organized the hotels, the family get-togethers with the Irish relatives. Not one of my brothers said, "Great job, thanks, Sue, for coordinating that." They said, "We like the guest house," but no one ever. I'm not expecting a trophy. Yeah, maybe deep down I do want a trophy. Maybe deep down I do want someone to say,
Mm-hmm.
"Wow, Sue, you really you did a great job at Dad's funeral. You did."
Yeah. So even saying, even though I organised so much for the family,
I organized so much for the family.
over in Ireland and for the funeral,
Over in Ireland and for the funeral.
and my brothers didn't acknowledge or appreciate me.
My brothers didn't acknowledge or appreciate me.
Perhaps I didn't even acknowledge or appreciate myself
Perhaps I didn't even acknowledge and appreciate myself.
because I had that belief that I'm not heard.
Because I had that belief that I'm not heard.
And my brothers' souls were playing along with the soul contract.
And my brothers' souls were playing along with the soul contract.
And matching my belief,
I
choose to release and let go of that belief.
I choose to release and let go of that belief.
So that they can step into being able to acknowledge me.
So that they can step into being able to acknowledge me.
I can't have anyone acknowledge or appreciate me
I can't have anyone acknowledge or appreciate me
while I keep that belief in place.
while I keep that belief in place.
That I'm not heard and I'm not appreciated.
That I'm not heard and not appreciated.
So I release it and let it go.
So I release it and let it go.
They've just been playing their part.
They've just been playing their part.
Matching my belief.
Matching my belief.
My belief that I'm not heard or appreciated.
My belief that I'm not heard or appreciated.
So I choose to release it and let it go.
I choose to release it and let it go.
And allow them to step into my new pattern.
And allow them to step into my new pattern.
My new belief.
My new belief.
I deserve to be appreciated.
I deserve to be appreciated.
I deserve to be acknowledged.
I deserve to be acknowledged.
I acknowledge and appreciate myself.
I acknowledge and appreciate myself.
And I'm not afraid to say it.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Even in front of them.
Even in front of them.
Acknowledging and appreciating my own efforts.
Acknowledging and appreciating my own efforts.
In front of my brothers.
In front of my brothers.
Allowing them to step into my new pattern.
Allowing them to step into my new pattern.
My new belief.
My new belief.
At work, at home.
At work, at home.
In my whole lifestyle.
In my whole lifestyle.
Releasing that old pattern.
Releasing that old pattern.
All the way through all of my Akash.
Through all of my Akash.
Into this life and out into the future.
Into this life and out to the future.
I choose to appreciate and acknowledge myself.
I choose to appreciate and acknowledge myself.
And demand that same acknowledgement from others.
And demand that same acknowledgement from others.
On an energetic level.
On an energetic level.
On a soul pattern level.
On a soul pattern level.
I acknowledge and appreciate myself.
I acknowledge and appreciate myself.
And I allow others to do so also.
And allow others to do so also.
See how when you've got that pattern in your system, others can only match the pattern that you're holding. Right. When you release and change that, they change. Yeah.
Good.
Does that feel better?
Much better.
Good. Well done.